Hi, I'm Sarah, first year RA. I decided to do a student development bulletin board, and I wanted to cover the different learning outcomes of identity development and student development and decision making. I wanted to make a bulletin board that would have residents interacting with my bulletin board, so I kind of knew that they were understanding the information that I was putting in place instead of just kind of like walking by and taking from it what they would, but who knows if they actually were learning anything. And with this, I looked at the community climate survey that we conducted in my hall and found that 67% of residents were pro-choice. So like some of the residents were one way and some of the residents were the other. But then there was also the students that I felt fell in between that like really didn't, they weren't pro-choice and they weren't pro-life, and I just wanted to provide some place for them to talk about their concerns. So I chose this bulletin board and I interviewed a room of residents that said they were pro-choice, and I got some of their quotes and just why they believed what they believed. And then I got another room that was pro-life, and I had them give me quotes and why they believed what they believed. And I kind of provided a definition of what each side was, like a loose one. And what I called my bulletin board was the gray area, because on one side I put pro-choice, so on one side I put pro-life, and then in the middle I overlapped black bulletin board paper with white bulletin board paper, making gray, because some students fall in between, and then the gray area is just because you don't side with one way or another. And as a way for students to interact, I put paper clips next to my bulletin board and had the residents who were walking by and reading the board and looking at it attach paper clips where they felt they fit into it, whether they were pro-choice, pro-life, or they weren't really sure, so they could put it in the gray area. I felt that it impacted a lot of people around the hall because it was a mobile bulletin board, and we were able to move it from one area of the hall to another area of the hall. And it definitely impacted at least half of the residents by the number of paper clips that ended up being on the bottom of my bulletin board near the end of it. At one point it did get vandalized, but we turned it into a positive experience by covering the managing emotions outcome. So next to my bulletin board we put a sign that says, you shouldn't vandalize this, and use your words, not your hands, and we provided a forum for them to come and talk about, what their beliefs were, what their feelings were, and why they felt the way they felt. I definitely had the theme of innovation on my mind when I put together my bulletin board. I wanted it to be something that residents interacted with instead of just walking by and not even paying attention to what was going on around.